Hi, this is Emma from Centered Within. And to be abundant, to be feeling abundant, doesn't correlate, it's not the same as having money coming in. If anything, it's far from it actually. Money coming in is more like a byproduct of feeling and being abundant. Abundant can be anything, it can be people helping you. Like today, delivery drivers struggle finding my place. So I write little notes to try and help them, which is still not helping them find the place. And the delivery driver today was really helpful because he told me what to add into the notes that will help the drivers even more so. And he suggested don't do, if I can, don't do nighttime deliveries because it's hard enough in the day. And I said I wouldn't do anyway because it's difficult during the day. I wouldn't even at night. And then I was trying to order a piece of clothing and I had to upload my new address and it would not do it. It just would not do it on the site. So I contacted the site and they did it for me. That is abundant. That's being abundant because people were helping me and they were more than willing to help me. The delivery driver, obviously he was probably grateful because I came out in the street and waved him down to show him where the cottage was. But then he helped me because I can add an extra element to my notes that will help the delivery driver, then that will help the person as well. So it's not just all for me, it spreads out to other people as well. It helps other people. So sometimes if you get into the mindset, you're thinking it's just about material things. The material element of it is actually the byproduct of feeling and being that way. Because quite often, including myself, when I first started, I believed it was the car. I mean, trust me, I want the car and all the other things as well. But I believed that was the abundance wrapped up. I believe that was the wealth wrapped up. But that is an actual byproduct of feeling a certain way, feeling abundant, feeling wealth. Now, you may think, well, wealth is attached to money. It is and it isn't. It's an energy, it's a frequency, it's a vibration. I always remember my first life coach, an amazing woman, Angeli. She was telling me a story. I think it was her son was travelling and he lost his credit card. And she had to meet him in LA because she had to physically hand over the other card and do other things and all that sort of stuff. So she met him in the Beverly, Wiltshire. And if anyone you've ever seen Pretty Woman, it's that famous hotel. And it happened to be the Oscars. So they were waiting in the lobby because I think they had to wait. I can't remember what it was. I think because of the Oscars as well, there was a lot going on. So they were both in the lobby anyway. And they could see all the famous people, all the A-listers wandering around. And she was saying to her son, look at them, see how uncomfortable they are. They're portraying a certain way, but they look and appear very uncomfortable. And he didn't sort of understand what she meant. And then I think they were sitting quite close to the reception area where you go to check in or get your key, whatever it is. And this bloke walked in and he had sort of cargo shorts, flip-flops, like just a shirt undone, like surfer hair. Not that he'd been surfing because he was where he was, and carrying a plastic bag, and he had some bits that he obviously bought in a local store. And her son went to him, well, what's he doing here? And she says, no, he belongs here. And he said, well, what, dressed like that? Because he didn't have to portray himself in any other way than he was. And as he went to the desk, he asked for the penthouse suite. So he didn't have to dress in designer stuff. He didn't have to have a Gucci bag or whatever it was. Now, look, if you have these things, great. There's nothing wrong with that either. But he didn't need the material thing to prove to anyone else anything else than he actually is. He was just dressed the way he wanted to dress. He was being the way he wanted to be. And he happened to be in the penthouse suite in Beverly, Wiltshire. Because in any other role he played or anything else he tried to put on to show to other people what he was, would have not been him. I can't remember who said it. I know I've said it, but it wasn't originally from my lips. But I can't remember the original person that said it. But it's a famous saying, wealth whispers and rich roars. I would like to say that I made that, but I didn't make that. It wasn't me. It came from someone else, but I cannot remember who it was. Wealth whispers, and he was whispering. He didn't need to project. He didn't need to show. He didn't need to look at me and all that I've got. He was just being who he was. And he was very comfortable in that. I remember watching, and again, I've forgotten their name. Oh my God, me names. And someone said, why do you stay in this hotel? And he said, because it's got the best shops around the corner because I really like that type of food. And that was the only reason. It wasn't nothing to do because it was 5-star, I think it was 7-star, whatever it was. It was just the access to the particular restaurant or restaurants around the corner. It wasn't like, I'm staying in this place, so therefore I am. It was just like, I am this person who wants this lovely food and I just want to be as close to it as I possibly can. Wealth whispers and rich roars. So when you're abundant or feeling abundant, it can come from anywhere and everything. You don't have to wait for your Gucci bag, your Chanel bag, or your Chanel makeup, whatever it is. You don't have to wait for that. That may come as a byproduct of you feeling the way that you're feeling. You may have decided at some point that you do want a Chanel bag, and at some point you get it, but you're already feeling that abundance anyway. And the more that you become aligned to feeling that way, the more abundant things will come in your life. And the smallest things are just as important as the big things. Because if you can do it with the small things, it's just as easy to replicate with the bigger things. And actually the bigger things just come in. But you've got to feel that abundance first and understand the abundance. And it's not like, if I'm not abundant, this doesn't happen. It's just not, you can't force the abundance. It's got to be a true abundance. It's got to be a true feeling. Because otherwise, if you try to place abundance on top and force it, you're just sticking a layer on top of what you're really feeling underneath. Because that is the true feeling. And then when the true feeling is like that, that's when you feel uncomfortable. Because it's not being who you are. So if you're feeling a particular way, don't force abundance or try to be abundant to negate how you're feeling, because that feeling will still be there and it's just going to aggravate that. It'll just get in the way. It'll just stop that. Because that will be what you're truly feeling is there. It's like sticking a Band-Aid. You can stick a Band-Aid with anything. Just because it's a spiritual word or feeling or way of being doesn't negate it at all. You can suppress anything with anything. You can do it. And it's always good to start off small as well. And that's why I wanted to come on, because I was just so excited. I felt so excited about the delivery driver. And then he was telling me about the place where I was living and all those sort of things. And how did you get to live here? It was just a really exciting moment. Now, on paper, it'd be like, yeah, that sounds, what's exciting about that? But it was just in that moment. It was an abundant connection. I enjoyed that connection. I enjoyed that moment. He helped me and I helped him. There was so much going on. Plus receiving some food as well, and other bits that I'd ordered. I can notice now the sun's coming out. So I think, right, I'm going to go for a walk soon. Instead of sitting here waiting for something to appear and then I will be abundant. or feeling a certain way. If you're feeling a certain way, feel a certain way. Feel it, be it, allow it. Don't shy away from it. Don't feel guilt for it. Feel sad, feel angry. But don't try and hide something on top, thinking, oh, if I'm this way, then I'm not going to get what. No. Be that. Allow those feelings to flow. You know, if you're feeling like you want to cry for 3 hours, cry for 3 hours. But don't try and find something that you can be grateful for just so you can hide that feeling down. Just so, like, if I act this way, then I'll get more of these things that I want. It doesn't work like that. Because what's truly sitting underneath is the real feeling, and that is felt far more than this thin little plaster that you're sticking on top. Because that's got no feeling attached to it. It's flat. It has no feeling attached to it. It's a thought you've put on, a flat thought, like a thin plaster. What's really bubbling up inside is sitting there, and that has more power attached to it. Far more. So start feeling into abundance. Don't necessarily attach it to material things. Material things are the byproduct of that. What comes anyway. And it will come anyway. When you're naturally feeling. And when you're naturally feeling it before the material aspect has turned up, or whatever has turned up. And that takes practice, and that is a process as well. That doesn't come with one go overnight, and it's like, poof. Because this will come into play, your thought process, because you've been thinking a certain way for years and years and years. Or you believe something for years and years and years, or you've been told something for years. You can't unravel that all in one go. That takes time. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that needs to come through. No, I think that's it. Sending you so much love.